Welcome Wargamers and Hobbyists, and I'm just doing a quick video to wrap up the 2-week challenge that Chris, Josh, Ali and myself did. So this is my Lothlorien army. As you can see, if you look to the right, you've got all of the Galadhrim armoured elves that I did last week with their banner bearer Haldir. And on the left, you've got what I've been working on this week. Now I do have to admit, these kind of overran a little bit. I think it's it's now Tuesday. These were meant to be finished by Sunday. So I did go over the line a little bit, as is what I usually do in these painting challenge things. I very rarely finish on time. But the important thing is I did finish. There are maybe a couple of bits to touch up, but broadly speaking, these guys are now done and battle worthy. I have to admit, of the two, I really enjoyed working on the metal Haldir's elves. There's just something really nice about those models. And yeah, I've actually got a few more of these, the Commander set, lying around, but not with me at the moment. And so as soon as I've got access to them, I'm really looking forward to finishing those bits off. And if you happen to drop by the Strider Cup this year, they will probably be the Ringer army, if we have an odd number of players. Doing an all Deeping Wall armoured elf list with Aragorn, Gimli and Legolas. Yeah, it's took me a little while to kind of get a paint scheme that I was happy with for the Wood Elves. They're a bit of a hard one, I think, mostly because they don't seem to match. Even the old metal Wood Elf ones don't seem to be exact kind of matches for the elves that you see in the films in Lothlorien. I started off trying to go for like a grey kind of colour scheme. I've gone for all of the Elven Cloaks grey. That's Gildor and Glorian there, by the way. Quite looking forward to see how he performs on the tabletop. Again, lighting in the video is probably not great, but all of their cloaks are grey and they've got a mixture of green and blues. For now, I'm kind of happy with it. I might go back one day and maybe try something completely different. Maybe get a different batch of elves in, or maybe just try a completely different colour scheme. But they're usable, they're workable. You'll see that on the tabletop and you'll know it's a Wood Elf, so I'm reasonably happy with that. Galadriel in the middle there is actually from when I painted up the White Council to take to a 1,000 point tournament using all of the White Council on foot. It didn't go terribly well for them anyway, but a fun little bit of trivia. I did have one game where I was using Glorfindel and Galadriel with her mirror in the same army, and Glorfindel managed to go through something like 45 points of fate in one game. I'm sure my opponent James Braun will remember that one quite nicely. But yeah, so that's the 2-week challenge done. I'm feeling pretty positive because I've had these elves sitting around in my case for God knows how long now. At least a couple of years, I think. And it's just really it's just a good feeling to have finally put the brush to them and finally got them, to a point where I can put them down on the tabletop and happily play with them. I'm definitely going to push the armoured elves a bit harder. I'm going to try and put them through the paces with highlights and things like that and get them all looking really beautiful. But I'm not entirely sure that I want to go ahead and do that until I've got access to my whole collection, including the captains and the extra banner bearer that I plan on putting in for the full army. So yeah, it's just really nice to have painted miniatures at the end of the day, especially when our lives get so kind of busy with everything that's going on, and you just kind of feel like you don't really have enough time to hobby. It's been great to have this opportunity to really catch up. I definitely plan to try and stick to doing more and more painting over the next few weeks, and even when, the crisis is over and lockdown ends, I still plan to try and paint as often as I can. I hope that you've enjoyed watching. I know this hasn't been so much a, I haven't shown you really how to do any of the colour schemes or anything. Pretty much everything that I've done with the Armoured Elves is in one of the old White Dwarfs. I'll look up the actual number and put it in the comments or something, but it's something like around the 260s to 280s, can't remember off the top. And it's got the full painting guide for Haldir's Elves in there. I think you can even find it online if you Google it. And on the other side, and no, hang on, you can't find that one online. I've tried. That one was the one I had to get pictures from a friend from. But I'll find out what the number is and put it up. It'll be on eBay or something. The colour scheme on the left is loosely taken from the Fall of the Necromancer pictures and book, but for the most part it's just Codex Grey on the cloaks, the Fang or Shadow Grey for all of the blue bits on the clothing, and Lothern Green, which I think is a slightly darker Goblin Green. Oops, could stand corrected on that one. For the rest of the cloaks, and same gold bits done exactly the same way, a mix of silver and bronze. Faces just a mixture of Bestial Brown or Mournfang Brown as it's now known, I think, with Dwarf Flesh or Cadian Flesh tone. And overall just these guys were a lot quicker to do. Took a bit more time and care in these guys, but yeah, had a lot of fun doing these. Anyway, that's it from me. If you like this little series, please say so in the comments and we'll try and do some more. Aside from that, I hope you're getting on all right with your own projects, and yeah, we will catch you later. Have fun.